Okay, next up we've got some more 38 special ammo testing. We have the Fiocchi Defense Dynamics 148 grain jacketed hollow point round. This is a standard pressure round. I chose to do a test with this because I haven't been able to really find much testing done with this particular weight from this brand before. 148 grains is slightly heavy for caliber, as 38s tend to range from about 110 to 158 grains is the kind of the average range we find, with 125 and 158 being the most common. So 148 is slightly heavy. Hopefully this round, number one, has enough velocity to expand, and number two, hopefully this bullet design is good and allows for expansion. I'm not exactly sure if I've seen this particular bullet before, but it looks promising. So we're going to take it out and we're going to get some velocity testing, and then we're going to try to do some penetration and expansion testing. So stay tuned for that. .885. Error. 881. 897. 893. 878. 897. 926. 987. 975. 973. 944. Up next, we have penetration and expansion testing. As always, we'll be going through one layer of denim, one layer of fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt material. So we'll see how these rounds perform. All right, interesting results on that one. As you can see, it blew apart this one. It hit the front here, and there's a big crack in the front, but the back of this first jug just blew way out. And I went into the second one right here, and out the back. Look at it, cracked the second one in the back way bad too. Into the third one, there's a puncture in the fourth one here, but the back of the fourth one's okay, and actually the bullet is sitting right here, punctured, sticking out of the back of the third jug. So when I open that up, if you look down in there, you can see it's stuck in the back of the third jug. So we'll bring it over here again, and we'll dump this guy out and see if I can't get the bullet to come out. She's still stuck in there. So we gotta push it out here from this side. There you go. Now it's gonna come out. There we go. There it is. There's the Fiocchi 148 grain. All right, that Fiocchi hit a little bit close to that other round, but hit right here at the top. And you're going to see the round from before underneath that, because this one really did very little disruption. Continued to pass all the way through the block. This is 18 inches of clear ballistics. Hit my barrier, bounced off, and actually landed right down here on the ground. And there it is. No noticeable expansion from the 3-inch. From the side, maybe you can see it's the top track in there. So it came in, and as you can see, just sort of streamlined all the way through. No expansion from the 3-inch for the Fiocchi 148 grain. Okay, that was a better shot placement. That was the Fiocchi 148 grain with the 6-inch Taurus. I put it right here, and if you look down, it's the top track, and it made it down in there into the block. It does look like there's some expansion. We'll do the penetration here first. Looks like we made it to, how do we do? Again, it's the top track in there, if you can see that. Maybe from this angle you can see it better. It's the top one here. So, or the one in the middle you can see there. That's the track. It made it down in there to about, leading, looks like it flipped around at some point, made it to 15 inches in the gel. I'll dig that out. Okay, there's the 148 grain Fiocchi through the 6-inch Taurus. We had some expansion, but definitely not full expansion. But better than through the 3-inch. All right, the Fiocchi hit right here, went through the heavy clothing barrier. Good wound track, but it's not due to expansion. The round clearly tumbled here in the first block, and there it sits in the second block backwards. So from the front here, you can see again a pretty decent wound cavity, but again that was due to tumbling, and there it sits. I'll measure it. All right, and the leading edge on that is at 14.5 inches, or I guess the back edge. So pretty good penetration, but no expansion through the 3-inch. Okay, put the second shot with the 6-inch here a little bit lower. So when you look down there, it's the track on the right. Again, not a terrible wound track. It crossed underneath the 3-inch round and stopped there in the block, again backwards, so it tumbled there in the front. That's probably where that wound track is coming from. And it looked like it started to partially expand, but not a lot. So we come here from the side. It's going to be the bottom track. So again, you can see as the round tumbled in there, kind of streamlined out a little bit, and there it sits. So again, not great expansion, a little bit of disruption in the clear ballistics, but not great expansion. You guys all know what my feeling is, or if you watched any of my prior videos, you know my feeling on clear ballistics, but we'll measure how deep this got. Okay, through the 6-inch, it looks like it got to about 16 inches and then bounced back to about 15.5. Okay, and there's the results through the 3-inch Taurus on the left and the 6-inch Taurus on the right. This is into clear ballistics. Again, I'm not a huge fan of clear ballistics. I think the ballistics gel, the actual true calibrated ballistics gel, does a better job of simulating real-world scenarios, but I don't have any mixed up right now. So this is what we got for comparison. And again, they just didn't perform as well as I had hoped. So we'll measure them back at home. Okay, back from the range with the Fiocchi Defense Dynamics 38 Special 148 grain jacketed hollow points. I was hoping for a little bit better with this budget round. Again, I picked this up recently. I think it was a few months ago. I ordered from a local retailer, Shields. I paid about $25 for this box. I also got a similar box in 357 mag as well. I don't remember the grains on that one. But that's an upcoming test I hope to do as well. This one again was unique because I hadn't seen anything really done testing with 148 grain, and the 950 feet per second rating I believe is higher than this similar round that's out there now. I think the similar version is 750, so I don't know if this is something unique or if this is widely available. I haven't done a lot of research on that, but overall, as far as velocity goes, well within specs. If the factory tested probably with a 5-inch barrel, then this is spot on. From the 3-inch, we had a 3-round average of 888 feet per second, which equated to 259 foot-pounds of energy. From the 4-inch, it was 899 average, 4-shot average for 266 foot-pounds of energy. And out of the 6-inch barrel was a 4-shot average of 970, which is over the rating on the box. And that equated to 309 foot-pounds of energy. So again, what's claimed on the box seems accurate. And I'm glad, again, with this round that they put the claims in the box. I'd like them to disclose the test barrel length. I think that should be standard practice in the industry, but this one doesn't. As far as performance goes, somewhat disappointing. Again, I'd like to have my homemade calibrated ballistics gel to test as well, but this time of the year, it's just not practical for me to make that. But from the water jugs, I only tested the 3-inch because it performed so well. The 3-inch here made it through the 3rd jug, barely into the 4th, or penetrated or punctured the 4th, I should say. Expanded ideally here. I'll stick that up there on the screen here. The expansion on this was about 0.50, 0.52, and 0.52 inches. Looks like pretty much full expansion, which is what you'd expect through the water jug test, which even through a heavy clothing barrier is still pretty much an easy bar for these to reach, is to get through that test and perform well. Into the clear ballistics, the 3-inch did not do well. As you saw there, I tested on 2 different days. The first testing, when I looked at the video, I thought that track, though it was independent, it was very close to the other track. And that's why it may have gone all the way through the 18 inches of clear ballistics that I had. But that was this round here. It did try to start to open a little bit, but no expansion out of that. In the second testing, which was done a week later in a fresh gel, again, this one was put as the first shot into that second test on, I think it was February 9th. I'm not sure. I labeled it on the screen there, but as you can see, again, it did not expand. It tried to, but again, no expansion on the round. The good thing about 38 Special, these rounds are kind of long, so they do tend to tumble, and the tumbling effect happened with both the barrel lengths. So the wound tracks were okay when it tumbled, and as far as the penetration, we didn't over-penetrate when we tumbled, which was also a positive. Through the 6-inch, this was the first test. We had partial expansion on this one. Again, it was about 0.50, 0.52, and 0.52 inches at the max. And the measurements were pretty much the same in the second test. Also a partial expansion, 0.50, 0.52, and 0.52 inches at the max. And as far as penetration in the gel, one was about 15 inches, the other was about 16 inches. So consistency, I'll give it that. As far as price point, I'll give that as well. But it's the only problem was the lack of expansion from the shorter 3-inch barrel. I'm going to go ahead and throw the scale up here so we can weigh these up to see about weight retention. But it looks pretty good. So hopefully we weighed up okay. So the first one here, this was into the water jugs, 147.6. Then we had the others. Here's the 3-inch into the clear ballistics, 147.6. The second 3-inch test, 147.6. This was into the from the 6-inch, the first one, 147.6, and lastly 147.6. So no weight loss on any of these. Again, performance was pretty good. The energy production on these was really quite good. It was actually better than the previously tested Federal Punch and Federal HydroShock Deep. There's more energy from these rounds. The only negative is really the lack of expansion in clear ballistics. So overall, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the testing, and stay tuned for the next one.